This is TWiT.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to TWiT, your tech hub for intelligent, thoughtful conversations. If you want to take your experience to the next level and support what we do here at TWiT, say goodbye to ads and say hello to Club TWiT. With Club TWiT, you unlock all our shows ad-free. You also get exclusive members-only content. We do a lot of great programming just for the club members. You also get behind-the-scenes access with our TWiT Plus bonus feed and live video streams while we're recording. And don't forget the fantastic members-only Discord. It's where passionate tech fans like you and me hang out, swap ideas, and connect directly with all of our hosts. It's my favorite social network. I think you'll like it too. Club TWiT. It's not just a subscription. It's how you support what we do and become part of the TWiT family. Your membership directly supports the network, helping us stay independent and keep making the shows you love. If you're ready to upgrade your tech podcast experience, head to twit.tv/clubtwit and join us today. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the club.
All right. So it is the top of the hour, so if we can get started, Leo will...
He will appear when the Leo appears. He's dealing with his own battles.
He is, but he should be here not too late. But we could go ahead and get started if you want to.
All right.
Kick it off, Richard.
Thanks. We're building out the AMD machine, which will actually be the streaming machine when I'm done. This old beastie that I'm sitting in front of right now is literally a Gen 8 machine. It's more than 10 years old, and it owes us nothing. And it's working okay, but it's getting weirder. You know, you just have those sort of random things that make you suspect, like, I don't know if I trust you anymore. And it has, I don't think we've ever had a hardware failure on this rig for the show, but it is definitely time. And plus I want to do more local model experimentation, so excuses to buy some gear. Anyway, I have deliberately, just to make this a little more fun, not opened anything except I took the case out of its box because that's awkward to do. So I do have to literally open the seals on all this stuff. And who knows, we may fail. Like, you know, sometimes parts are DOA. We won't know for sure until we dig into this.
Do you want to do just a quick parts rundown before like the total build, or do you want to go?
Yeah, no, I can run over what we've got here. Don't ask me the prices. I'd have to look them up. I don't know what they are. I mean, I went for a Ryzen 9. There it is, sitting right behind me here. So I grabbed a Ryzen 9. So that set the motherboard up for X670 is the current generation, and nobody's got anything bad to say about ours. So I went that way. I used PC Builder to check all the specs. And what else we got here? There's the cooler. 2 terabytes of SSD, 64 gigs of G.Skill RAM. So like I said, I was looking for a streaming rig, like something that's going to be able to handle some load and not balk too much. Plus, I've always been running Intel, and we all are now suspicious of Intel. So it was time to actually have some fun with an AMD machine and see what's going to go on from there. So I used PC Builder to check specs to just make sure all the stuff compatible. I then subsequently looked at it again and went, absolutely, this is all going to work fine. I've got a little... Corsair Arctic paste for lubing this thing up when we get to that point in the build. And then we're going into a Fractal North case with the this new office, which we moved in here 2 years ago now. My old desks at the old office were built in. And so they go with the house. So I got a chance to get new desks, and I went with straight up good old fashioned laminate wood. The desk that I'm in front of right now is actually a standing desk, which I have not wired. I will wire it when we do the rebuild for the new machine here, and I'm going to shift the set alignment and so forth on this whole space. And that way I could do Windows Weekly standing up if we are so inclined to do so. This is a 7950 for those who are concerned, 7950X. I figured, you know, if I'm going to keep machines this long, I might as well load it up. And a single-sided fan cooler. It didn't seem like I needed more than that. I have no intent to overclock because I'm all about reliability, and I don't need to optimize, you know, last inches of every speed. I'm not looking for extra frame rate. I'm just looking for stuff that works. You know, I try my best not to over-optimize. You can go crazy down that path, right? And I'm trying to stay sane. To me, the number one thing for any machine is reliability. Then we can talk about, is it fast enough for what we're doing? Let's face it, computers have been fast enough for a long time. Right? Arguably, even this old machine, I should wipe it and rebuild it, which I think I've already done once before. The cooler in this case is again, nothing too exotic. This is Master Coolers, the Hyper 212 Black, which works both for the AMD and the Intel current generation chips. And it's your good old-fashioned phase change heat pipe style of cooler, which there are fancier. I didn't see a need, not for what we're doing here today. Okay, well, let's get this motherboard out of the box and see what our first surprise is, what they know and what we don't know. Any guides, any extra spits that I need to worry about in this box, or can I get rid of it? Oh, there we go. Wi-Fi we're not going to need. I love an adapter block for plugging in various bits. SATA we're not going to need. Okay, that can go.
Got a question here.
Yeah.
Asking, is there a reason why you went with the SSD you went with?
No, especially it met the specs. I debated, how big do I want to go? So it was a good performance one, and I don't no particular relationship with Sabrent. You can again, you're squeezing pennies at this point as to which one you really want. So I put this into the Intel machine I built last weekend, and it runs just fine, and it's plenty fast. So I was not unhappy with that. They're not inexpensive. I'm doing everything sitting on a towel here just to avoid scratching the desk, and that I can slide it around without actually sliding anything too damaging around. Oh, let's see those ports. There we go. I love how they got Wi-Fi integrated these days. I guess lots of people don't have wired Ethernet in a lot of spots, so they just include it in. And we got an HDMI port in the back, so I feel like I'm going to fire this thing up before it's in the case, just because, if you put everything together and hope for the best, then you end up having to take it apart. In this case, I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to, we're going to fire it up piece by piece, and once we're happy with it, then we'll stick it into the case and deal with the next steps. And I may or may not be able to use this block. I know from already doing that case once that there's nothing, there's only a power and a light and a power light and a power switch. The rest of them aren't done for anything. So what I didn't grab was the manual for the motherboard, because I got to know what the right RAM configuration is and which SSD is which here. So probably going to go into this one. I got to guess there's more under here, but let's see. I don't know if they actually included a manual, if I have to look it up online. Oh, a multilingual installation guide, because that's how simple this one is. So they want the CPU in first, then the cooler. Then they're going to talk about the RAM. There's the RAM. Install memory with no instructions as to what's the right place to put the RAM. Nice.
No good.
Okay, so it's very simple, and it doesn't tell us the things we actually need to know. So that. Let's look it up online. And these are regulatory notice cards. Well, I mean, I appreciate the thinking that, the printed one would be wrong anyway, so you might as well look it up. Sorinal Ars Elite AX. Elite AX. It's an X670 manual. I did pre-grab an updated BIOS for this thing, but I did not pre-grab the manual. So you always got to remember one thing or the other. Oh my God, I'm going to need Acrobat Reader. We can make this more interesting and try and read it in simplified Chinese, but no, I'll go with the English one. specs. CPU cooler. I guess we might as well get started on the CPU, and then we'll learn about the RAM next. Okay. Opening up the AMD. So many DOA opportunities here, right? These fancy boxes. This is how you know you're paying too much for your hardware, when they can do all this. Look at the size of that box. And that is one fancy, complicated piece of rock. Comes with a sticker. Very nice. Oh my goodness. Magnetic clasps. For a box you're going to use for 30 seconds. Right. Lever off. Flip it up. We leave the cover on. Putting the CPU in should automatically pop it out. Notice I'm not terribly worried about grounding myself. It's not that dry here. I'm right by the ocean, so the static effects are pretty minor around here. Ooh, really important that on the back of that sticker it says "not for resale" because I was going to sell the sticker. Oh man, it's a lot of pins. All right, which way does this thing go in? All right, there's an alignment key. There's only one way it'll go in. That's at that corner right there. Seat it so the hat doesn't wiggle. Seems happy in there. Lovely. All right, should pop the cover off. Bink. Ta-da. Right. What's next?
Oh, Greg M says that the memory, your guide for the memory is above the memory slots on the upper right corner on the board.
Ah, yeah, look at that.
Thanks.
So
Greg.
the question is, do I do A1, A2, or A1, B1 for two DIMMs? That's the question. Or in some cases, I've seen A2, B2. Or just when you're just using two. It's easy. It's easy if you're filling them all. There it goes. It's A2, B2. All right, but before we stick the RAM in, we should fit the cooler. Although sometimes you can't get the RAM in once the cooler's in place. So we should just do a test fit. Just get a feel for how it's going to look. Every cooler is different and fussy.
Yeah, Harold says in his new board it was A2B2.
A2B2, yeah. That's the Intel one was that way too. It's actually a complicated. I've already done one of these coolers, and I did it for the 1154. But now we got to do it with the AM5, so the layout's a little bit different, and it's got a clever way of going together. That means you actually have to pay attention. All right, and a 120 fan. Put that over there. Various bits and pieces, not all of which we'll use. And then the big guy here, cooler comes out. Right, and there's a sticker for protecting. You want to keep that as clean as possible. So the less oils we have on it, the better. Looking at the bolt pattern on this board doesn't have through holes. Right. Am I going to have to take that panel off? I wonder. Different motherboards, different rules. So this looks like a mounting bracket. Is that probably going to go on like this? Is it going to go on like this? Or is it going to go on like this? Be nice if it went that way. There's a bunch more clearance that way. And then I tend to build my machines for airflow from the back to the front. There's all kinds of debate about positive pressure versus negative pressure and so forth. I try and balance the same amount of flow going in as going out so that it's easy to draw a new area and blow the hot air out. And so front to back means I'll probably want to put the fan on this side, blowing that way. And there'll probably be another fan in the case right here, also blowing that way. Which means we got lots of room for RAM. Now the question is just, how do we actually mount it? And I think it's going to mount against these 4 screws here. Let's see what the Intel mounting is like that. The AMD mounting is like, oh, okay. So it wants me to take that bracket off, take these bracket posts off, and then, yeah, it's laying out exactly the way I was hoping it was going to lay out. So these brackets are supposed to come out, and then I have bars in here that are designed to mount to the actual frame, to the cooler itself. And then they should screw in there. We'll try not to lose those fan brackets. We'll do that part later. Oh, I know what I need. There's 2 teeny little screws in a little baggie. There they are. Inside this with this cooler paste. Those are the things we're going to be sad to lose. So let's not lose them. Put them somewhere safe. I don't need that. I do need a screwdriver or 2. Always good to have a jeweler's around because you always need a small one. And I got a heavy one and a light one, Phillips wise. So task 1, get these out. I don't think I'm going to use any of those parts again. Can we have a fan philosophy debate here? I don't have a problem with that. Let's see. RAMs in the front should flow front to back. So they'll get cooler air on the RAM. Not that I'm usually worried about RAM getting terribly hot, but your argument then is not blowing hot air on the front. I mean, my argument for back to front is there's more room for the air to go in the front, blowing towards me, as opposed to blowing out the back where there's more constrained space. And the air tends to be cooler in the back as well. But maybe we should reverse it up. We don't have to set the fans just yet, so we got some time to discuss which way we want to go on this. All right. For these brackets, they actually want these brackets screwed onto the frame, onto this, before we mount anything up. There is an offset on them. The offset is outbound like that. But they want the screws put in on the underside. So this
are you mounting? I know the Fractal has like the top vents too. Are you adding anything there, or? Yeah,
I'll throw a pair of 140s on the top, and I mean it's the natural airflow anyway, right? It's just that this particular machine is going to be hung from the desk. I have a bracket to put it on the desk going up and down, so there's only going to be so much clearance between that and those upper fans.
For sure. Yeah, no, I have the same setup too, and it gets pretty hot right under the desk.
Yeah. Well, these are all worthwhile debates to have, right? It's like, what are we thinking here? What's the right way to go about this for this particular case?
Where's the desk going to sit and stuff?
Yeah, the Intel's sitting on the floor because it's not on the raisable desk, so it's got a lot more headroom. There's an argument for let's focus on fans on the front for this one, blowing out to the back. So there's one arm. And there's the other arm.
I mean, also it back to front also makes sense in terms of if, like, normally you just get a lot of hot air like collecting against the wall. It's sitting up against too. So.
Especially you got fans blowing that way.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's a debate as to which is more effective. So now just checking alignment here, and that looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks like it's supposed to fit on there. That's nice. We got limited clearance on all of that. So next religious debate, I will take opinions from the audience here. Do we paste the CPU or do we paste the cooler?
I mean, I've generally seen people paste the CPU and not the cooler, but
I tend to agree. And I went and bought the premium paste, subject to debate about quality. I got my little swiper here.
Yeah, everyone's saying CPU.
Yeah, not much of a debate then. So, yeah, one of my goals when it comes to fans is, I mean, obviously performance first and foremost. The machine should not fry. But next up is quiet, right? I make a lot of recordings. So I want to try and keep the fans more or less balanced so that, because they get noisier if they've got more to fight. And I like to make them big because the bigger fans tend to run slower, so they're quieter and not in constrained space. So, I mean, there's a strong argument for, with the under desk mount, we should not be, we should not put the top fans in because they ought to be noisy. Well, we're predicting the future here. It's not that hard for me to take it back down and disable those fans or even just remotely turn them off, even if we put them in, because I have lots of fans. I usually do this with my finger, but I got this nice wiper board, so I figured I'd do that. I don't worry too much about the whole finger oil problem just because the zinc oxide here rapidly coats your finger anyway. But, and this one's funny because it's got little nubs on the edges. I'm trying to get out to all the way around. There we go. This is probably overkill, but no, overkill never hurt anybody. In this case, the thermal paste is Corsair's XTM70 Extreme Performance Thermal Paste. Does it make a difference? I doubt it, but I got to tell you, this is a much more pleasant install for this cooler because I use the same cooler for the Intel. I don't have to do any through board stuff. I just had to line this up and put her down. So just wiggle in each screw to make sure it's seated. And then let's do their official pattern, which is a 1, 2, 3, 4 approach. Fancy. But, you know, I'm a firm believer in crank them a little at a time. Just try and keep them balanced. Don't want too much pressure. You want it firmly on there. These are spring-loaded for a reason. So I'm doing like 3 turns each and then switching. How about, if you're looking for a title, how about Nothing Succeeds Like Excess? But, you know, I'm not... you know, it's as excessive as I could have been on this machine. I did bought the high-end parts. I did not overdo this. And yeah, I am taking my time with these screws. That's feeling pretty sturdy. The strings are partially compressed. I'm going to give another turn or so in each one. Ooh, I violated the pattern. My goodness. Does space make a difference? Sometimes a whole degree or two. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Yeah, we are definitely, slicing pennies here, right? Minute. And I hate to say this, but I did not use the cleaning wipes. And, I imagine it could have been a tiny bit cleaner than it was, but, you could go nuts. Anyway, I like how that feels. It seems to be sitting steady. It's completely compressed onto there. We should probably put the fan on at some point. But let's continue. I am open to going front to back if anyone wants to further the argument for front to back versus my instinct is back to front. But for this machine, because it's hanging under the desk, I will entertain more front to back. I mean, the only question we really have here is there's more fans available in the front of the case to pull air out. But if we're going to go slightly positive pressure, then that would make a case for front to back, because the front, we'll have a pair of 140s on the front for sure, and we'll only have a 120 in the back. So it doesn't make it's a great question as to whether that makes any difference at all. Oh, somebody had looked up the particular kit and noticed that there's the stencil. Here's the stencil right here. So supposedly I can put this down on the CPU and smear it into nice triangles. And I thought this was just about the dumbest thing I'd ever seen. Like, really? Triangles, huh? Okay. I just wiped it over a minute. Yeah, positive pressure for dusty environments, I totally buy into. Actually, water cooling for dusty environments where you're just not blowing air through the case in the first place. But no. And here it's not that dusty. I have this room to myself. Although we do now have a puppy who does like to hang out with me a fair bit. So maybe there's more case for a positive pressure scenario. Anyway, like I said, I'm leaning towards being persuaded by y'all that we'll do the two 140s in the front blowing through. So you'll tend to be a little on the higher pressure. There is a nice filter on the front of that case too, which is easy to pop off and vacuum out on a regular basis. So you're starting to win me over here on switching to going positive pressure front to back. We have not committed to anything that makes us have to choose one way or the other yet. All right, RAM time. So Ripjaws, these were recommended by PC Builder. They were, again, often in this case, I was just, what can I get in the time available to be able to do the stream? They're sure there could be a slightly more optimal RAM, but these were not too fancy, and they fit the spec. So I went with that. Ooh, also comes with a sticker. I will not be applying any of these stickers to my beautiful, beautiful wooden case. And by the way, that RAM understands packaging. Something that keeps the thing protected, makes it obvious what it is, costs as little as possible, and is sufficiently sturdy that it won't fall off, but can be removed without magic. That is proper packaging. I didn't have to take out a knife. I didn't have to do anything. I just popped it open, and here we go. So kudos to G.Skill for proper RAM and proper packaging. We are in A2 and B2 for our two 32 gig DIMMs, which will give us 64 gigs. I contemplated 128 and thought, that's too much memory. What the heck am I going to do with 128? All right, next up, the M2. Now, I'm going to guess, I'm just looking through the specs here, that the M2 I want is the one right here. And I see there's a screw on it there. So let's pop that open. Ooh, stiff one. There we go. And yeah, they usually have some tape for heat transfer. Little post mount there. This little sab wrench is not a full length one. It's one of the shorter ones. So I have to use one of the inner mounts. Even this this packaging is overwrought. Look at this. I mean, I'm all for rose gold, but look at this.
Ooh,
very fancy. Ooh, I have a metal case around an M2. I mean, admittedly, it is a whole 2 terabytes. So well done. Okay.
That's
a lot of packaging.
A sticker on the other side?
That's not.
Oh, that's a sticker.
I don't think this is.
That's a sticker.
Is it? No, it doesn't feel like it's supposed to be peeled off.
Oh, no.
Maybe it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Am I voiding my warranty? Look, let's read the
Perhaps.
manual for the M2. It has one. How nice.
Where's it?
The heatsink is required to dissipate heat.
The heatsink's the other side, though. The gold side, right?
Yeah, the heatsink's on the other side. So I don't know that I'm supposed to remove this. Oh, it does say installation by a professional technician is recommended. Oh, and please disconnect any existing storage devices. And then when it says to install, it says install. No word about removing a sticker.
All right.
I'm leaving it on. All right. Test fit. Nothing blocking there. Lines up with that pretty good. Is there something clever in this mount? Let me just check on the manual. Looks like it's got a little lever or something on it.
So, Richard, where's all the RGB? I don't see any RGB. What's going on?
Oh, not enough blinky lights for you, Anthony. You know, I am not that guy.
Really?
Yeah, just not that guy. I don't need LEDs on top of my RAM. I mean, it's got headers for it, and I do own a whole bunch of 2812. Like, there's no question I could bling this thing out with blinky lights. I just, also have to live with myself, and I'm just not the blinky light guy.
Someone looked up it was a, let's see, quick form check. The plastic protecting the adhesive on that piece, yes, it doesn't conduct heat well. The label on that
this here definitely needs to be removed. That's like thermal paste under there. So that's we're going to take that off for sure. We were talking about this, but I don't think this is supposed to be removed. It's got a serial number and stuff on it. I think it's supposed to be here. What I was unhappy with is how it's seated.
You also got
and I put the wrong
chat,
which slows it down.
Micah says, I was promised you'd have a live fish swimming around the computer in a desert terrarium.
It just clicked in very nicely there.
Okay, nice.
Happy click. There's some kind of clever like tab here or something. Oh, I see. Look at that little locking tab. So cute. Okay, so we didn't have to do anything as elaborate as a screw, although now I have to put a screw to put the heatsink back on. All right, I'm peeling off that and putting this back in here. That clicked in nicely, and the screw was captured, which is appreciated. And let's just see if we can get this to align. There it is. Nice. All right, that feels nice and secure. Okay, and this, I mean, I kind of want to put cigarettes or something in this. Like this is this is way too fancy. This is the second one of these, by the way. There's
SD
fuzz
card holder.
on this.
Yeah,
this is like
you'll
it's
think
like
of something.
Alcantara in here. What is wrong with people? How much of the price? And these were not that inexpensive. How much of the price of this is this ridiculous case?
Right.
Really? Look at the little book. I could get a collection of them. See? All right. So we have a CPU. We have RAM. We have M2. By all accounts, we could power this thing up. Just take it out for a spin, see how happy it is. I don't need this anymore. These can go. I guess we actually do need to decide on the fan. All right. Where are we on the fan story? Everybody happy? Everyone been heard out on this? I'm going to grab these.
It seems like most people are on the standard front to back, but
front to back. We'll discuss whether we put the fans on the top side of the case, knowing what the venting problem is are there. And so that speaks to this should be a fan and its frame side is the input to the open side, which is the output, right? I always forget that. And if you don't think it through, is it marked on this? It'd be nice if it was marked, but I don't think it is. I like fans where on the edge here it marks.
I think the out is the back. I could be wrong.
What's back and what's front in this world?
Try to look at my PC. Yeah. So, I mean, oh yeah, I'm looking at my fans. That back end is where the air comes out.
Right. So the airflow comes out through here. So if I want to go front to back, I should put it here facing this way.
Correct.
All right. Let's check where the CPU fan connector is so we can get the lengths right on this. That's about right. Okay. And just hooking up these little these grabbers.
Greg M says he'd okay to pull rather than push.
Yeah. I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah.
Another piece in there. Good one. Popped one right off. Get back in there. You are needed for the battle. Am I putting these on the right way around? Do they lean out or lean in? If only I had documentation that would tell me. Lean out. Yeah, okay. Trying to get at least one fin in on the top here so that it tends to keep it gripped. There's a click and popped it off again. Come on, little guy. So much easier when you can see it. There we go. 2 good clicks and easy to remove if we needed to remove it. By the way, I do have a good flashlight. Because my eyes aren't what they used to be. So it's always good to be able to check. So I'm just making sure I'm one fin in here so they can't move up and down. One fin in below there. That's good. And same on that side. This fan's not going anywhere. And CPU fans mounted. Don't forget to set all the jumpers. Yes, I got to do my IRQ assignments. 1988 called and wants its PC back. All right. Why don't I crack the power supply and let's fire this out sitting external, and you'll find out that I've actually figured a way to show you the boot up sequence, and we could do the BIOS update immediately. Those. There's the big beastie. So I went with EVGA's 1000, the gold standard one.
Leaving yourself room to upgrade. Nice.
Yeah, presumably. You know, the price difference between the 800 and the 1000 was pretty minor. But God, they're making 1400s for crying out loud. I don't know. What do you want? You're trying to run a city?
Oh, the 5090 is pretty hungry.
Yeah, this is just a 5060 on this one.
Yeah. You know, if you ever feel like getting a 5090.
Yeah, if I have an urge to spend even more money. All right, and I'd normally be showing you this, but this thing's flipping heavy. I can't hold it over there. And I haven't moved the motherboard out of the way. For a bloody big case, the power supply itself is, you know, not that big. There it is. But it's heavy. Ye old cable bundle. Okay. Tidy. Big fan. Lots of plugs. Look at that. 5 VGA connectors.
Nice.
You know, if they say VGA, they must be right. So what do we absolutely need to hook up? Motherboard, 2 CPUs. The rest we don't need yet. So let's get the cables for that off the bundle, and we can power this thing off out of the case. Now I just got to sort all the wires out. That 5080 I installed needed 3 VGA cables. It went into a Y connector that brought them all together. This 5060, I probably not quite so extreme. Broken pieces of twist tie. Come on, there you go. Many more wires than we're possibly going to need. All right. I'll keep the VGA ones. There's 2 VGAs. We'll put those aside. We'll probably need those. I suspect all the SATA adapters and things can go away. There's the main motherboard one. We'll definitely need that. And the 2 CPU ones. SATA connectors. SATA connectors. There's a CPU connector. Peripherals. Ooh, look, Molexes. When's the last time I had a Molex? This case doesn't even have, this case I got, it does not have front openings. Like, just fans. All right, so those are our 2 CPU connectors. And we can grab the 2 VGAs and we have the motherboard. That's all we need for that. Okay. Of course, there's different motherboard connector variations, so you got to figure out which one you're dealing with. Right. Slide this over so we can work on this on camera. Camera part's what's hard here. Trying to make this fun for all of you. I mean, I'm having a great time. All right. There's the motherboard parts in. And then let's double check on this motherboard. 2 8-pin connectors. So I think I'll use solids on the motherboard side, splits on the power supply side, so I don't have to fight with it. No, it's not going to work. I have to use the solids because it's a 1 tab. So there's CPU 1 and CPU 2. Right. I already got a power cord hidden over there, but we'll plug that part in last. Now let's slide the motherboard back. And let's get wired up. This is a lot more interesting when it's in the case. This is pretty easy stuff. All right. That part's in. We'll have a great time taking these all back off, and we need to put it back in the motherboard, in the case.
Oh, that's, yeah. Especially when those, you have to do the 2 pins connected or like side by side. That's always a pain for me.
Side by side with the split plug.
Yeah.
All right. One more.
A lot easier when it's outside the case.
So much easier. You know what? The whole point of doing this out of the case is to give us all hope, right? Now, the other question is, how do I actually fire this motherboard? There's a CMOS switch here. Oh, there's a power button right here on the corner. Right there. That's a power button. So that's how we'll turn this thing on. And let's see. We got a network card. And we have an HDMI on the motherboard. And I guess I'll grab a keyboard and mouse. So just a keyboard at least. We're just going to do BIOS stuff for now. Compact keyboard here. You notice I've avoided putting power to this so far. And I preloaded this USB with new BIOS for this board, so we can do that right away. One there, and one there. And then power cord into the power supply. We'll take this out of here just to avoid any surprises. All right, power switch on the board. On the power supply. Any LEDs? Any way to indicate life? Power button. All right, did I switch it off instead of on? That's also possible. There we go. Lights. See that LED? It might not be visible for you guys.
Yeah, I see
the LED fired up. And let's see. Camera. Is it camera 2 or camera 3? It's camera 2. See if we actually get any action out of this. Well, it's humming. Of course, we have no speaker attached because that's an obsolete concept. At least with the Asus board, I had Q codes, but that's none of this even. So we're seeing nothing on the HDMI port so far. I would switch over to it like this. And no, nothing there. Oh, I hear the fan winding up. There we go.
Keyboard lit up.
Look.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. How about that? And it says CPU installed, FTPM NV corrupted, or structure changed. Just press Y to reset the FTPM. Okay, yes. Let's hit Y. So I was able to loop that HDMI feed through the road so you guys can see it, and then actually put it as a secondary monitor output to a screen here so I can see it. And so we can actually watch a BIOS setup. BIOS has been reset. Reconfigure BIOS settings as needed. Okay. Look at all the pretty colors. We've already been doing this for an hour. Holy macaroni. All right. Let's load optimize defaults. Hello. All right, shows the CPU fan running at 1600 RPM. And it shows the Sabrent. It also shows that Philips USB I stuck in there. And it shows RAM. 16 cores, 64 gigs. This looks fairly healthy. So, should we attempt to update the firmware from the USB-C? Or from the USB that I just put in there. So, I think that's under Q-Flash, right? Update BIOS. All right, it doesn't seem to be able to read that. So that's not good. So I thought I preloaded this properly. Maybe it needs to be unzipped. Let's go stick it in the other computer and see what it thinks. There we go. Yeah, I just left it as a zip file. I'll just, if I unpack it, just unpack it right here. Well, you know, the joke is that the Asus UFI said, oh, I can just read from the zip file, so I didn't need to unzip it. So my mistake. Apparently, this board's not that clever. All right, we're unzipped. Back you go. Look, Ma, I'm doing blind USB inserts on TV. Oh, got it first try. There goes my luck budget.
Success.
Yeah. I don't know about this UI, but okay. This must restart. Sure to update. Yeah, go for it. BIOS ID checker. Excellent. All right. It's protected us, I think.
Wrong model?
Well, I don't know. It looked right.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. X670. Yeah. X670 RS Elite AX. Wrong file, maybe? Yeah, should we do a full reboot? There you go. When in doubt, Control-Alt-Delete. Time for tea. I mean, arguably I can feel the fan blowing out here. Arguably we already know enough to know we could be able to configure this thing, but and we're back. Okay. Down to QFlash. BIOS. My goodness. No, too far down.
Yeah, maybe you don't need to go that far into the... After you zipped it, what was it? Was it like a folder?
It was a folder, yeah. See, that should be it, don't you think? Does that make sense to me?
Yeah.
All right. I think this is the same thing we just did. No, so it says a BIOS checker, ID checker. And my current BIOS says...
Greg says there are 3
24
revisions of this motherboard.
Yeah. And of course, we don't have anything as fancy as, can you just do an online lookup of this thing? Because that would be nice. But no, that's way too fancy for this place. All right. Well, I already had the web page pulled up. So let's go back. So much for prepping in advance. Motherboard. CPU manual downloads. Realtek BIOS. All right. And the one we were just looking at was the F34, right? That's the one that I was just looking at, right? Yeah,
maybe
F34.
you just select the folder. Maybe you select the parent folder. I don't know. Like, is that an option?
Yeah. No, that's the same thing we just did. Now it sure seems like it wants me to do that. There's nothing in the EFI.
Dave suggests check what version we're running in BIOS right now. And then we
in
can
BIOS we're at FB1, right? It says on the left there.
Oh yeah.
Is that even on the list here? No. Is that B1? If these are all numbered, which sort of speaks to maybe we're on the wrong one. We're looking at the wrong thing. And it's, yeah, the date is May of 24. So there's a May of 24, which is F30. Yeah, that's the same time. It looks like you just have an old version installed. Why it calls it FB1, I don't know. And the current is FB5. Okay, I'll believe you. But it doesn't say FB anywhere here. We're back to, are we downloading the wrong version? I mean, we could be cynical and go to an older version and load that on and see if that helps.
Let's see. Someone shared a link on Discord.
Yeah, I grabbed that link.
Okay.
And this is for the Rev 1.3 board. So where do I say what Rev of the board is? Yeah, okay. You're right. So the board was right. I got the wrong one. That link who gave me that link? Who just did me a solid?
Let's see. Disco Fuzz?
Disco Fuzz gets a gold star. All right, back in the other machine. And let's download that FB4. Seems to be the one we want. And then open a file. And we will cut that and drop it in the volume. So I literally grabbed for the wrong version of the board, it looks like. Take the old ones out to decrease the level of stupid. And do an extract all. Well, it hasn't overheated yet, that we can tell anyway. Fan speed's actually slowed down a little. CPU at 34 degrees. Boy, that's chilly. Okay. Extract done. Yay, I put the USB in upside down. No, I didn't. I had to turn it 3 times. Quantum effects are applying.
Yeah.
There we go. 3 turns. I paid my duties. Update the BIOS. FB4. Look at that. Now, stupid UX is stupid. Yes. And installing. All right. 2 gold stars. Temp has gone down, but the north bridge here is toasty. I just made me jump. And we're going to reboot.
Coffee time.
Mm-hmm. Caffeinated beverage, please. Yeah, are we thankful the motherboard can tell that the BIOS was wrong? Yeah, you're darn right. We'd really be in it.
No, I've made that mistake also.
Sure.
Yeah.
And there's usually ways to recover, but life is too short. Here we are doing a file verify. Tengal, so far just drinking tea. We will do whiskey when I draw blood on the case. I suspect that's very likely to happen. All right. And I'm punishing you guys by making you wait for a BIOS update. I don't know about that. But yeah, you know, this is the first, I've been a while since I had to build a machine. It's been a few years. I really had the sense that it cost me more to buy parts to build this machine than it would have to have bought this machine to the specifications already built by someone else.
Oh, yeah.
I think building computers is now so rare, they're just marking them up because they can, and they're not producing anywhere near as many parts.
So I stopped having a desktop PC like in the late or early 2000s, and then recently just hopped back on.
Yeah.
Like 3 years ago, but it was easier just to, or cheaper to build. Yeah, buy pre-built, and I ended up swapping the case out later. But yeah, especially if you want to get like a newer like graphics card.
Yeah. Well, and as soon as the machine's got a few years on it, I'm just unwilling to pull it apart because so often pins are now worn. Like if you take anything apart on that machine, it will probably not go back together. And it's just, you're asking for trouble. So it's one of those things where it's like, is it 4 years old and you want to do something to it? We should just build another machine. That being said, I'm kicking a 12th gen board out of the other machine that is going to go to a young man who lives down the road here who's always wanted to build his own computer. And so he's going to be inheriting an Intel 12700 with, I think, 32 gigs of RAM in it and a 3070, which is nice, not a bad machine for a few years ago. But I required him to buy his own case and his own M2 because I don't want a worn out one in there, and a new power supply for the same reason. Don't want the fans cooked. And he pushed back on the power supply. It's like, hey, I'll just use your old power supply. And his mother heard the story and said, I'll buy you a power supply. I don't want this thing to break. Because every piece of spinning hardware is the part that's going to wear out. So probably in the next couple of weeks as those parts come out, we're going to get a session to build a machine, and he's super excited. And that one's got RGB headers in it. So I'm going to say, hey, I've got some RGB LED tape here. So if you want some of that, we'll hook it up and have some fun with it. He's a nice kid. But, that's nice to repurpose the machine. Yep. Dustin's right, Burke. It's a 5060 going in this one. Still sitting behind me. But I won't try and mount a card until we're in a case. 88%. The older machine, the 8th gen with a 1080 in it, that one's for the scrap pile. It's just too worn. Now, how are we going to test this ring? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if I have a running copy of Crysis anywhere. Not that I'm a Crysis player at the best of times. But maybe some Kerbal Space Program. Yeah, they should not make mini ITX boards for Ryzen 9s. That's just not smart. But my wife's machine is a mini ITX board, but it's not quite. It's a mid-range board with a mid-range processor, but I got her a 3090 because she does CAD. And that's what I was thinking. Like, do you want a 5000 series? Are you ready to go up? She's like, nah, I'm good. Render times are still sufficient for her. Okay. Coming into the reboot. Yeah, both these machines are Win 10, and I wasn't going to upgrade them to Win 11. But now that I have to build from scratch, I pretty much have to build Win 11. So I'm going to blame Paul, which I do a lot, and we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, it's time. It's new and fast, and here we are with FB4 loaded. All right, I see this officially as happy and healthy. Could I do some optimization? Probably. Do I need to do it now? No, not really. So let's power down and let's go draw some blood. Take out my fingers trying to get this thing to fit into a case. So disconnect all our cards. Thank you, USB, for providing us the deliverables. Before we introduce anything else to it. The last time that HDMI port's likely to be used. believe. Now, disconnect these. This is the real punishment for doing a power up here, is getting these things back off again. There's one. And the other. And one more. Great. Keyboard can go away for now. You've got to take everything away for the moment. We bring the case into the equation. All right. Where are we going to put this motherboard? I got a spot over here. All right, we'll see you back in a minute. All right. Now focus is going to be a problem. So this is the case we were talking about. It's the Fractal North. This is wood. Very fancy. I'll take that out of there. So there's those two 140s already mounted. I think I'll leave them. So, oh, a jig bag of silica gel appears. Backside. My thumb screws have been tightened down too far. Can't undo them with thumbs. Yeah, I've been admiring this Fractal North case for some time. Now that I have a wooden desk, it made sense to me to have wood on the case.
I have the same case. It's awesome.
It's beautiful. And they come in white or black. And I went with black. Come on, sweetie. Let's go.
Did you get the glass panel or the mesh?
Mesh. Because ventilation, right? That's all I care about.
Yeah.
No bling, just ventilation. All right. The cable's already neatly laid in here. And we've got a accessory box wound in there. We will not be unwinding that. We'll just be clipping it out.
Yeah. Everyone in the chat's saying they either have it or they've been eyeing the same case.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So we're all on the same page. This is the best. And good on, you didn't think there could be innovation in cases. The fact that they pulled it off, let's reward these guys. Honestly, you made a beautiful case. We all covet it. Let's get them. Let's let them know they did right by us. Look, drive caddies. These will go unfilled.
Yeah.
In fact, I might just take them out. They're just more things in the way.
Yeah, they're sitting in some bin in my closet right now.
Yeah. We could have a drive caddy party. There are some people, and it's been me now and again, where it's like, if I have a bay to fill, I should fill it with something. There's the other one. All right, and the little North accessories box. So this is all the screws and some zip ties, some bushings. We'll need things from this. So we'll keep that handy. There's it's not on the camera there. There's a fan bus up here, but we'll see if we can get stuff onto the board here. And those are all the motherboard connectors. We've got routing slots in here, access to the back if we needed it, but we don't. So I'm just going to take the other panel off and we'll flip it over and maybe we can get mounting a motherboard. So that's the mesh panel. And it's just all about the airflow. I did take the other case further apart to get that that bloody 5080 in there. Well, the top panel wants to come off, so we'll just take that off. So the nutty story of cramming that 5080 in there was actually taking this part of the case off too, so that I could get access to the full span to slide that thing in. Which I would not recommend, including to myself. Don't ever do that again. All right. And the fans are already mounted the right way, but I'm going to focus on the fans after I get the motherboard in. I don't need them in there. Now, this case has the posts already mounted, including one pin post. So it's got the 3x3 mounting array. We should check the holes on the motherboard, make sure they line up. All right. It's probably the point where I'm going to have to stand. So I see 3x3 holes here as well. So this should just drop right in. Standing time. Fortunately, I have nice long earphones in, so I can still hear. There's a lot to hear right now. All right, going in. That was disturbingly straightforward. The center pin here just helped me align everything up. I can see holes under the rest. Yep, pins there, there, pin there. Okay, good. Yeah, how much should you spend on a case? Well, let's be clear. We're building our own machine because we're not worried about saving money. We want control, and we want to make the thing we want to make, and we enjoy doing it. Second, I don't know about you, but I got a lot of miles on these machines. Like if there's the basic things you should spend money on. Good Wi-Fi, you use it every day. Good chair, you use it every day. And yeah, it's nice. A PC that delights you because you use it every day. There's the screws for the case. There's 8 of them. And same for great keyboards and great mice. You know, like that. You're going to put so much time in that stuff. You know, the things that touch you every day should be the best you can afford because it just is a pure quality of life thing there. It's hard to remember the 80% that you do. You know, we're always focused on the exception case and not focused on the routine case. And if you can make a difference on the routine case, what a difference it makes in your life. Great keyboard, great mouse, great microphone for some of us. All right, I got 8 screws. And same thing, just set them, leave them loose, set them all down at once. And once you're a couple of grand into a video card, the cost of the rest of the parts I've got magnetic screw tips here, so I am not too worried about putting screws in. And my eyes may not be as good as they used to be, but it seems like my hands are still pretty steady. My buddy Carl over on .NET Rocks is starting to get a couple of jutters and things, and that's upsetting. You know, 60 is just not that far away. All right, just setting the screws on each one. Two to go. Any good PC should rattle a bit. Yeah, I should leave something loose in here just to make myself happy. There we go, that tricky one there. Greg's past 16, still building PCs. You're an inspiration, sir. I'll be with you. All right, all in, tension on. Roll out the bigger guy with the tension. This is not the hard part.
It's the cable management.
Totally, it's the cable management. Well,
The case makes it easy, though. Yeah.
They've got this little box here where the power supply lives and routes the cable forward.
Yeah.
And
The case makes it easy.
it makes it a little, you got to do a little fishing around, though. Just got to be patient. Good. All right, I got 8 tight. What's next? Let's take a peek at the GPU so we know how many cables to add to the power supply for feeding that GPU. Any seals on this? Nope. Okay. First time looking into this box, so there you go. This is not so dramatic a GPU as some I may have dealt with. Oh yeah. One HDMI 3D piece seems like par for the course, and a single 8-pin connector. Luxury. So that means just one VGA cable. It'll make us life fun. Is the fan on the wrong side of the cooler? Yeah. Could it be on the other side? It could. We're going to blow to the back, right? As that's been the recommendation. So we got a pair of 140s here. I mean, really the question is, could I get another fan and put one on both sides? But I don't think that's necessary.
I mean, you'll have the fans. You still have the fans on the front of the case. It'll be fine.
I got the fans in the front of the case blowing into this. I got this one sucking. I'm going to put a 120 right here, blowing that way as well. So I think that's sufficient fanage.
Yeah.
All right. This is going to live here. So just looking from what panels do I have to remove? So I think I'm going to mount that, and then we'll deal with the power supply. So 2 screws out on the back of the case here. Do I use liquid cooling? I have used liquid cooling. To be clear, everybody uses liquid cooling now, whether you know it or not, right? Like all of these heat pipe coolers have a convective liquid in them that vaporizes when it's sitting on the CPU and then flows up the heat pipe to dissipate its heat and goes back down again. Do I do like pump-based radiator cooling? I have in the past, back when it wasn't fun, mostly for the quiet back in the P4 age. And I got to the point where I actually put pipes in my walls and put the reservoir outside with radiators mounted on that.
What?
So I had patch panel water cooling into my office for 3 different bays. You know, like you do.
Yeah.
And it worked like a charm, right? Because then we had a sufficient volume of water that you just couldn't get the water warm enough. In fact, I had to put an aquarium cooler into the reservoir because it got cold enough outside that the reservoir could freeze. So I had an aquarium cooler set at 10 degrees Celsius sitting in there just to keep it from freezing. But then what I had was 40 liters of water that could pump through the loop. And so that's just enough thermal mass that the machines couldn't get hot. That doesn't mean I didn't slag them, because I did. I set up an SLI pair of 6800 XLs back in the day. That was before I had the central reservoir, and got it hot enough that it melted the seals on the water jacket on the 6800s. Which, amazingly, they replaced on warranty. Mostly because and I had stalagmites on the motherboard too, so I got them to replace that as well. I was surprised they took it, but they did. And what was my electrical bill like? Like, here's the secret you need to know. I live in British Columbia, where electricity is cheap. Very cheap. So, my regular power is 12 cents a kilowatt hour. So I just, you don't worry too much about that part. We have hydroelectric power and lots of it. All right. That GPU is not going anywhere. And such a nice size, too.
Don't need to put in a retaining arm or anything. So
nope. Just nothing dramatic here. Okay. Come on. Power supply time. All right. Is that just out of the frame? Yeah, it is. So there's a little retaining panel for the power supply, which I thought was very nice. Power supply back in the equation here, and we need to add a cable, one VGA cable. Plugged into VGA 1. Now, put this, we need the screws for the power supply. Look, 4 power supply screws. How nice. Medium driver. How does this line up? That lines up just like that. Okay. Finger tights first. Wow, I'm glad we didn't wait for Leo, huh?
Yeah, not sure.
And I'm sure he'd want to be here. This is his kind of thing. But, so whatever he's dealing with is important, and he'll be annoyed and frustrated when he does appear. Never gets to have any fun, our Leo. Bit of left-handed driving here. So this Fractal case has a little cover plate for your power supply that comes off, so you can fit it on and then slide it in. We're going to have to slide all those cords through, and then we'll strap it down. And then we got to figure out how to frame this properly with it standing up because I got to wire it. We'll play with the camera a bit, I think. This is the 5060, not the 5080. All right. Everybody in the case. Come on. You could try and plug this in from inside the case. I did this once, and then I took it out and did it the easy way.
Did you add all the power cables you wanted on that already?
Yeah. We've got all the motherboard ones and then one VGA cable because this thing only got one VGA connector. Nothing, no multiples. All right. And then just got to tap those screws down. Maybe I'll turn this. There we go. Easy, Tex.
Whoa.
Just put it down anywhere. It's where the screwdrivers went for a hop. All right. So the power supply is mounted. And now we play this fun game of fishing cables to the front. This means I kind of got to put the case like this. And there's no real good way to show you this shot, I think.
That's good.
So here's all our cords. So that's everything coming off the power supply there. So pull those aside. And let's deal with motherboard connectors for the front console and the fan connectors. That's pretty good, huh? All right. Some twist ties that need to go. Figure out everything we got in here. All right, so these are the two fans that are on the front of the case. This is the motherboard power light and power switch. There's another connector up here somewhere. That is the connector for this fan bus, which I don't think we're going to need. I think we're going to be able to ignore the fan bus and go fully on the motherboard. So I might even want to take that fan bus out of there. Which I believe I can do, right? It's not screwed in. It's just clipped in, isn't it? Actually, those look like rivets. Didn't the manual say you could remove this thing?
I don't recall.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I did either. My build.
I mean, the instinct is as many fans as possible, right?
Yeah.
All the fans. But in this case, boy, that's a lot of fans. I'm looking through all the different options. Oh, yeah, I could throw a couple of fans on the side. Do you see this? I have a panel that could fit on the side of the board.
On the mesh?
Yeah, on the mesh side and blow air in. So, and the way this machine would sit, that would be, because I'm going to mount it on the left side of the desk, so that would be exposed out to the air, pulling air in the side and then blowing it out the back. That's tempting, isn't it? Do I have fans for that? I think I do. In fact, I have a pair of Noctua 140s. Those are really quiet. But if I'm going to do that, I probably need this thing because I may not have enough connectors on the motherboard.
We gotta do not recommend. Oh, wait. Oh, he's talking about the panel. Never mind.
Now, it definitely says there's an alternate placement. You can move the PWM fan hub if you want. Oh, it screws on the motherboard side.
Mm.
All right. Why would I do that? The main reason to move this is to put it closer to the outside panel. That would feed to the motherboard. But we don't have to decide that right now. Quick thumb through on the manual for this motherboard. How many fan connectors do we have? And we got a CPU and a CPU alternate. Although I avoid using the CPU alternate unless I'm actually going to put that on the CPU. LEDs, internal connectors. Let's see. There is CPU fan, CPU LED. Sys fan 1, 2, and 3. Four. Okay, so there's 3 locations. All right. Does this speak to the front fan should be powered off the bus? Turbo button. And I do love the Noctua color.
The side fans.
Side fans could be the Noctuas.
Yeah, but I think you need an accessory bracket for that.
I have the accessory bracket for it.
Okay.
With the case. But at powering them, I could use the 2. There are 2 fan connectors on the power supply side of the motherboard that could be powering those 2 fans. And then these front fans, which are already fed back here, could just be plugged in up here. Because there's not... we also want to do a back of the case fan. So we're going to need another one. So just doing the math here. This argument now makes move this fan connector into the case, power the front fans from that's all the way across the case.
On I'm sure you know, but page, where is it? They show you where you can remount the. Yeah,
it's in the back of the case.
Mm-hmm.
So then I could route, and the 3 fans that would route to it most obviously would be the back of the case fan and the 2 side fans. That would be 3 of the 4 plugged into the 1 port at the back of the case. And then there is 2 more ports more to the front of the case that could be these 2 fans.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. That justifies it. All right. But do we want to do, the fans kind of come last, right? So do we want to get these motherboard connectors done first? And we can
you could run that up the side. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, all of these are going to come in. Well, let's double check on the motherboard. Where are they going to come in?
Probably that bottom
F
gasket.
audio is always the question. The F audio is in the far end, so that needs to be threaded back. Audio. I don't know that I ever actually use this, but I can't live with not hooking it up because, reasons.
Nah, you got to hook them. You got to
hook. Anything that can be plugged in should be plugged in, or it should be removed. So I'm backing it out of the restrainers here because it's going to come in right. Actually, I'm going the wrong way. It's going to be down here, right? It's on this side of the board, so it does need to be in the restrainers. At least this one anyway. And then go this way. It's going to be here. And then these 2 are, what is that? SATA connectors. 15 is the U32 and 20 is the CMOS reset. What's the other 15? Okay, so these are going to be up here. Let's just poke them through. And this is also going to be down here. All right. And I'll just stuff these back in so we can lay this down and can plug all those connectors in before we do the power supply set. Hey, everybody, hide, roll. This is purely for your benefit. This is definitely the hard part, is making this work for camera. Okay. There we go. Useful visualization?
Very much so.
All right. Standing up again. Right. So there's the USB-C connector. I think I can live with that location just fine. Connectors on both sides, just to make it interesting. Nope. This way. Yes. 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 Thank you. Okay. This guy actually, I think, goes there. So it should probably be down the next bay down. There we go. And you go right there. Good. Good. F audio is right at the back of the board. There. Okay. And this is where that little adapter comes in. What do I do with that adapter? There it is. All right. Look at this fancy thing. How the heck does this work? I've used guides like this before. All right, yeah, so we're supposed to put all the pin parts through, and then the whole thing plugs in. I love it. So, power LED on the other side. Power LED. Power minus power. What is this? There's power, and there's power LED. You know, we don't have any more hard drive lights. I don't know if you can even see this. It's tough to see. But these four go together. Just like that. They go into that, they snap in place, then this whole thing plugs into figure out the right way around to go. Oh, that feels good. Is that in? That feels in. All right. Does that look relatively tidy?
Yeah.
Got this guy wandering around in here. We'll probably put a zap strap on him to hold him down, just to keep him neat. But that's not the end of the world, airflow wise. Okay. We got to get the...
I think with the whatever that long cable is on the right, I think what I did, there's like a little hole.
Yeah, I see the hole there.
Yeah.
Do you think
that's
I should
one
come
option.
through the bottom and come up here?
I did, I think, on my build.
All right. I think I did that on the other case, actually. Easy text. No smashing. No divots out of the desk. This is the F audio connector. Wow, there's another hole even further on. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beside the power supply. How much do I want this? Do I want to put the power? Do I want to pull the power supply out to be able to slip this cable in?
Is there not enough room to get
It's
it
enough room for the cable, not enough room for the head.
No.
This is not excessive, Anthony. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's your call.
Listen, I'm perfectly capable of making my own bad decisions.
I mean, you got the mesh top. You're not really going to notice it too much. Either way.
This is pure scratching the obsessive itch. That's all this is. That's all it is. It's okay. Yeah. Will the case go back? Will the power supply go back in the bay with the cable there? I don't know. Am I going to damage the cable forcing it? Maybe. All right. This was the bad idea.
Oh, no.
Oh, got it. Just had to push the cable down a bit. This will be hilarious to take back Park again. But look how tidy. See?
Look at that. Yeah.
Just right there. All wires are secrets. All right. I think got those thumb screws down snug. And we're ready to pull power up and through. Because this hole here is going to be the one that'll take the VGA power up to get to here. All right. We got to stand it up again. So there's that long-reaching cable. Get back in the retainer. There you go. These guys are snugged up to there. We'll zap strap those down later. Okay. This is the CPU cable. So these are the CPU ones will be going up. CPU 1 and CPU 2 come up here, and they'll come out right here. Is that in the shot? No, it's just out of the frame. So there's a little hole here where the CPU powers would go. We'll just get those both threaded, and then we'll click them in a minute. So those are up there. This is the VGA, and it's going to go out that center hole on the lower. There. Okay. And then the motherboard is right about here. So we can go up there and we'll stick that back in the, after we get it plugged in, then we'll tighten it and tidy all this down. All right. Okay. So there's the VGA connector. Let's get that one out of the way. It's easy. We'll tidy it in a minute. Good. Motherboard. Nice click, and then you see those two screws? Oh, you can't see them, but those two screws are that. That's the bus for the for the fans. Let's just get that out of there right now. Because we do need to move this while we have it laid down. We're going to move it over here somewhere, the back of the case. There's one screw and two screws. All right, and we were also in here to plug the CPU connectors in. Definitely would not want to do this with fans in place, my goodness. You'd be tearing your hands apart trying to do this. One. Come on. Up you come. Push it back after we get it in there. Literally got my hand cramping up trying to get that in there. There we go. Click and click. Good, good. All right, that's all the power applied. There's the fan controller stuck on the towel. Good. That's out of there. So I can see a couple of zap straps to pin that down. And we got those two fans, which I think we're going to route to the motherboard. And then this back side will be done. We can strap it down and then feed the fans on the other side. Okay, looking at the fan mount locations, there's one near the middle of the motherboard and there's one at the far edge. So one can go down here and one can go right here. Keep that out of the way for now. We'll flip that back down and see if I guessed well. That fan's plugged in. And that fan's plugged in. All right. So, what's left? I want a 120 right here. I'm starting to feel people's thoughts that this is on the wrong side. Because we've got so much space over here. We got these two guys blowing in. So if I put this on this side, then I have the 120 over here. And then the you know what we should do is we should also try fitting for that panel for the other two 140s. See if it's going to go in here with the clearance on this. That is the tray. I think that's the way it's supposed to go in. Or it's supposed to. How is this supposed to work? I guess that's it, right? Like that.
Well, yeah, there's three positions. Like, to be at this.
What do you think of this? You like the look of it? And you're trying to talk about two fans blowing right onto the GPU.
Yeah.
Right? It's right beside the CPU cooler. Am I chill enough for you, Earl? Do you like this sort of steady? You know, there are no mistakes. There's just happy little accidents. That's where we are. Okay.
Leave it be says.
So Wizardling likes that we would pushing fan air directly on the GPU. The GPU then pulls air in that way. The route out for air. Yeah. The air is going to come out the back. So we got air going in this way. I'm getting hip to the whole idea of flipping this to the other side, which is trivial to do well before this is put in. I put a pair of Noctuas in here. And then somewhere around here, we're going to put the fan controller, which is going to run both these fans plus that 120. Why don't we pull this, flip that, and screw the 120 in? And
Sounds good.
Then we got some judgments to make. Okay. I worked really hard to put this fan on very neatly. And now I got to get it off with the
fix card in the way.
Video card in the way. I mean, it's not the end of the world where it is. There's one. Well, you know, there's an answer to this, and it's just pull this guy, get him out of the way while we do this. If it wasn't for rework, this would be way too easy. Me and Wizardling are getting along way too well here. The point is the struggle. There you go, dearie. Thank you. Stay right there while we take care of this. Come on. Without breaking it.
Greg is suggesting that we also tie up that excess cord on the cooler once we move it.
Oh, for sure. We will. But we got to get it out of there first and move it to the other side. All right. Fan goes this way. So how much cord can we wrap up just by turning the fan? It looks like most of it. Well, maybe a little too much. Okay. So like that. You know what? This wire has been crappy the whole time. Let's use the other one. Easy, Dex. All right. Can't believe I popped it off again. It's on the wrong way around. All right, that's the right way around. And of course, the far one popped off where I can't see it. Didn't you? Didn't you? You did. You want to come off, but I'm not going to let you. I'm going to fight you for it. First fin, there you go. First fin again. Liquid nitrogen cooling. This is not the P4 era. I've seen it done, but I don't want to do it. There. As requested by the community, we're going to blow that direction. All right. I had a GPU once. It was around here somewhere. There it is.
Yeah.
Was it one of those little 56K modems that came in the aluminum chassis you could stand on? Hayes made the toughest boxes to put your modems into. He used to take them out of those cases and stick them in a wooden rack so we could cool them. Okay. Right. Le box of 120 mil fans. There's a 120. And we need screws for the 20 on 20. So 4 of those. Continuing to blow this way. So I put this fan here, and I have to figure out where to put the bus. I think I can sneak the bus right.
The manual had a suggestion just right at the top of the back mesh on page 24 on the manual.
On the manual for the North?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was back. Oh, sorry, it's off the screen here. But it was right at the back here.
Yeah, at the top.
But the fan is going to live here.
Oh, you're going to use that spot? Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you don't have to put it. It doesn't have to be at the very top. You could leave room. Yeah.
So I could put it. I mean, it fits the whole width of this.
Yeah. But there's room. They put the panel like horizontally at the top. That's what the manual shows. But
right.
You could put it anywhere, but
I don't know that it'll fit. I could put it over here, but it's above the cards. It's not the end of the world either. And then this tray was going to sit here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you can't see any of this. So that's that tray. Fan is here. I could slide it this way and put the controller in here.
Yeah.
Sort of between everything. Now, the power for it's got to go over onto this side because the chassis fan connector's back here. but that's fine. We can thread it under the video card and around the corner there. Okay, let's screw this fan, this 120 down first. And I can tie up a bunch of the cord that way. We'll put it up high so that we leave room for the adapter to go below it.
How much clearance do you need for, like, assuming that all the fans are connected to the hub?
Yeah. How much clearance do I need for what?
Like the hub plus it being connected to things. Like, what does that look like again? The fan hub.
The hub's pretty small.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, so I was thinking it could go right here and the cables can connect onto it sideways.
Yeah, as long as you think there's clearance for the cable.
That is the question. I mean, one would argue we should just plug them all in. I mean, there's clearance above if it's that way. If we put it here.
Now that I think about it, I think I left mine where it was initially installed and just like ran all the cables through that same place where the motherboard cable is coming through.
But this tray sort of tips it over where you want to plug it in right there. My biggest concern actually is that this 120 is going to be louder than those 140s. Right?
Yeah.
And it is...
I mean... I don't think they're going to run that. I don't think it'll run too hard. Like,
it's also only a 3-pin fan. I could put this into the CPU alternate, right? Because it is literally doing the draw for the CPU, so it's not particularly offensive to do that. But then I have direct control over it. But we're also out of ports, right? The two front fans are wired to the motherboard on this side. We have one port left back here. So I definitely need the controller if I'm going to put the two 140s in here. But I could isolate this so that it can be controlled and set the speed on it separately.
That'd be nice.
It's probably a smart thing to do because if any fan's going to make noise, it's going to be this one. So being able to dial it down is probably a smart call. Now, one of the habits I've gotten into is before you try and mount this thing, just thread these plastic screws ahead of time so that they go in there easier after the fact. So I'm just going to put this screw in a couple of turns. So that is pre-threaded, and we'll do all 4 of them. And then it'll be a lot easier to mount it when it's trying to feed that through the case. A little pre-threading done. Okay. So I need the length on this because I'm going to plug it in over here for on the CPU alternate connector. Just give it one turn. It doesn't need quite that much length. So much easier to put them in when they're already threaded. Lovely. And let's just plug that into the CPU alternate connector. Or CPU optional connector, I guess you could call it. Good. Right. So, This little beastie is going to plug in over here. That's the connector right there. I think we can sneak under the video card for this. But it's going to live, I think we can sneak it right up beside the fan like that. And then it's just plug the cables in sideways. I don't know if the motherboard allows daisy chaining, but I'm trying to avoid it because I like having specific fan control. The only paired fans now are going to be the two Noctuas off this controller on the tray fans, which I don't care if they spin exactly the same speed. They're Noctuas. They're quiet at the best of times anyway. The rest of the fans I can discreetly control through the BIOS. All right. That looks mounted. Looks like it is meant to be there. Just got to thread this wire under the video card. Or we could just lift the video card. One more time. It isn't really a build if you haven't taken the same part out twice. Especially apart with a locking tab.
I'm pretty sure I had my all-in-one cooler mounted on the top before I had to like try to thread the motherboard cable through, and I had to take it back out. Definitely made a lot of mistakes on mine.
Get on the other side. Oh yeah, cable's still loose under there. Thumb screws are supposed to be thumb tight. Do I have a Windows 11 install license ready to go for this PC? Well, you're darn right I do. All right, so that fan's wired. This bus is wired. It's now about just hooking up this tray, putting two 140s in that, and then connecting them to the bus. Boy, these Noctuas are pretty. Short cable on them though. So one there, one here. I have to add the extension for this one. We got plenty of extensions. All right, just looking at alignment on the underside. We're going to be able to fit this thing in here. Yeah, I think so. It looks all right. So one of the nice things about being MVP, RD, and all that stuff with Microsoft is they give you a lot of licenses for stuff. So I have a little website I can go to that's internal to Microsoft, and I can request a license for all sorts of things. And so a couple of workstation Win 11 licenses are not too hard to come by. I'd be annoyed by these silver screws, except that they're going to be on the inside of the chassis. You won't be able to see them. All right, one mounted, one to go. Let me worry about hooking them up. This, right, like so, onto the cover. Thread that under there. We'll add an extension cable on. What's this one going to do? If we put this here, can it go over the side without pinching out the case? Does that look feasible? I think so. And the other power is down here. It doesn't quite reach, just short. That's nice.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. But I got an extension cord. I'll just plug it.
Oh, okay.
It's not the end of the world. All right. Yeah, I really hate this cord being here. How am I supposed to do this? Should it have been back? Now that's got a spring on it. I couldn't have been there. Could it have been in here? Let's just see. Looks like just the sort of notch made to take a power cord out. Like so. Doesn't that make sense? Now the question is, can you fit the other fan in beside it? Yeah, that fan seems to go in there all right. I'll slide the fan up a bit. Now when this thing's on, there is a gap to feed that power cord through there too. They clearly thought this thing through. It's almost like they knew what they were doing. Okay. So now we just got to screw this one down. And if it feels like I'm doing crazy acrobatics over top of my open computer, it's because I am. Just to put it in the frame.
For the people.
Just for the people. For all of you. What are we, 2 hours plus into this, Anthony? Are you in overtime at this point?
No, I'm good.
Just getting them each set. There you go. Drop one. Feel better?
So I decided I'd make a parts list for the description. What was the RAM again?
G.Skills. I can go pull them all up and give you the actual part numbers and things.
Okay.
When I'm done.
Yeah. After's fine.
Yeah. Just tensioning all these back up. We still got the zap strap phase of construction, right? All right, 2 fans mounted. In a cradle, it seems to fit nicely. There. This is just off frame, isn't it? Yeah. I ran out of tea. Oh, damn. The far one reaches when I wired it this way.
Oh.
No extensions required. I am very fortunate. One and 2. Am I actually supposed to screw this down? I don't even know. Oh, it's just binding on the CPU there. Just. Now that I've built the tray and wired the tray,
There should be thumb screws from the back, right?
Thumb screws from the back. And I have a box with some thumb screws in it. Ta-da! 2 thumb screws.
Got a new viewer with us.
Oh? Do we need a recap?
No, just my cat.
Oh, your cat's dropped in. I love it.
Yeah.
Does your cat have a strong opinion about positive or negative airflow?
Positive.
Cats are such a source of positivity. That's what I think of when I think of a cat. So one of the secrets of my life is that I lived in a menagerie. My childhood, my mother bred Siamese cats.
Oh.
And so, A, I know way too much about Siamese cats, but B, whenever she'd get a scrub litter, like sometimes the cats wouldn't come in points, and genetics are not always stable things, she would take that scrub litter to the pet store. And the pet store, and then while she was there, if there were any injured animals, she would bring them home. And we would nurse those animals back to health. And if we were successful, then she could sell them on consignment. And if she was unsuccessful, then we buried more dead animals. Mm. As a consequence, I have administered medicine to every animal you can imagine. Name it. I have treated button quail for mites. I have done parasitic dips for hamsters. I have dealt with digestive issues with bearded dragons. I have applied coagulant to a very angry tarantula that was bleeding out. That was what I did after school, was apply medicine to injured animals.
You never cease to surprise us, Richard. You always have a crazy story.
Yeah, well, there you go. Now, anything I need to tie down on the inside of this case, I think it's pretty tidy in here, actually. I think the tie downs are all going to be on the back side. Yeah, well, that looks good. And I crinkled this wire in place, but I think I'm happy with it. The fan seems stable. All right. If we put the covers on before we power this up, it will fail because the gods of vengeance and irony tell us so. So we will not do that. We will not tempt the gods of vengeance and irony today. We will power it up first. There's a bit of tying down that can be done on the back here. Mostly those PC cables are long and sort of hang in there. Everything else is pretty tight. We could put the cover on now and you'd never know. Well, I'd know, but then that's the important part. But in order to do our correct offering to the gods of vengeance and irony, we need to power this up fully naked, then tie down, then cover up. Then we can decide how much further we're going to go today because we're getting long in the tooth, that's for sure. The folks in the far on eastern parts are going to bed. I think all of our English friends are gone now. All right. HDMI was at the bottom, so we'll do that. HDMI. Network. Power. Keyboard.
AdaSync is suggesting that we go back into BIOS.
I think that's fair, and check the fan settings.
And saying to turn on EXPO in the UEFI. Not sure what that is.
UEFI is fancy new BIOS.
Yeah, but I don't know what EXPO is.
Not sure either. But we'll figure it out. Managed to get my earphones tangled up.
Expo is the memory overclock.
Sorry, what's
enhanced
that?
Memory setting. Enhanced memory setting.
Okay.
Overclocking the memory.
I'm not too worried about overclocking anything here. But let's, we are due for a power up and a BIOS setting and maybe tweaking, tuning the fans to see how noisy they are. So let's apply power and see if the power button is correctly wired. Well, it flashed for a moment. Or did I turn the power off? Wouldn't be the first time. All right. We got a DOA. I love it. I assembled too much, right? This is what I get.
Oh, yeah. Did you turn on the power supply?
I did. Or did I turn it off? You never know the answer to that. I think it was already on. The one thing with this motherboard is when the power is applied to it, nothing lights. It's only when you actually turn it on that something lights up. Okay, that was interesting. I hit the power button and the power light flashed for a moment and then clicked. That's usually a bad sign.
Don't like that.
Don't like that at all. And only clicked once. Only by turning it off. We're going to have to start a disassembly, aren't we? Tick, tick. Click, click.
The fans didn't even start spinning.
Nothing.
Right?
Yeah. Now, there's an LED right on the motherboard when it powered up. A nice bright red one. And that flashed. And then I think I heard a click and it went away again. So, yeah.
Cable check.
I think we got to run through cable checks.
I don't know.
They did it again. And probably pull the video card and, just strip down to minimums, see if we can get back to working. But first, let's deprive this thing of power.
Let's see. Out of sync says, I thought I saw it disconnect the power header on the to the motherboard.
No, it's in there and it's locked.
Case.
Yeah, I don't think that's a problem.
Maybe something got disconnected when you pulled the power supply out.
Yeah,
That's probably the cable through.
So let's go feel around on the far side here. There we go. Now I can see in there and everything looks pretty good. Yeah, nothing but lock tabs down there. Me and my stupid power supply tricks, right? The other classic one to look for is, did you switch to 220? But this motherboard doesn't have that feature, which is good because I don't need that feature. That's a bad feature. But it does not have it, and it does not have a problem there. But now that we've jostled everything, will it be happier? All right, let's check the motherboard side. Are those well seated? And, yeah. The real problem is if it does work now, I'm going to be distrustful of it. Good, it did exactly the same thing. Let's check. I'm going to lift these fans out. And we'll leave them out for now. You know what I didn't do? Oh, I did do that. I did plug in the power for the fan controller, right? That fed that all the way around. I'm going to take this fan panel off.
All right. GPU plugged in.
GPU power is seated. Although, we could pull we're really going to take all the equations out here. We should take the GPU out.
Yeah.
Why not? We need to pay homage to the gods of vengeance and irony. And let's face it, it's not really a build if you haven't pulled the GPU for a third time.
I think this might be the fourth, actually, but
maybe the fourth.
Who's counting?
I'm getting good at it. Imagine if this had happened with the 5080 where I couldn't get it out. You know what? This was not properly seated.
Oh,
That came out way too easy. I think the GPU was the problem. I expect it. Now, we're going to use that HDMI port one more time since I said I would never use it again. Power. Network. Keyboard. We have been properly chastised by the gods of vengeance and irony. On. Nothing. All right, exact same reaction. That I clicked it. I clicked the power on the motherboard, and the power light flashed once and then turned off. I'm going to disconnect the 3-pin from the optional CPU. Shouldn't make a damn bit of difference, but I'm into the makes no sense phase of this. That's where you went.
the PSU isn't dead on arrival, Burke. We tested it earlier.
Yeah, we had the whole thing running out with the motherboard out because I was being so skeptical. There's the clicks coming from the power supply, you know.
I mean, I guess try reseating all those, like the motherboard power on both ends.
I did that. That was the first thing I did. I hate the prospect of even trying to take them out again.
The BIOS update didn't kill it. We went back in after.
We were powered off the BIOS. Yeah. So there's definitely a fail firing here. It looks like it's a defensive motherboard thing. It powers up and goes, something's wrong, and powers down. I'm just starting to pull wires now. All the fans disconnected. Let's disconnect the keyboard, the motherboard, the case headers. Don't need those. All right, so all that's left now is the CPU fan, the same thing that were plugged into it when we powered it up out of the case, right? Nope, same fail. All right. Running out of options here. I mean, now we're at the point of pull the motherboard. Because that makes sense. Ugh. You know what this, I know it did it. We turned the fan on the other side. This was working fine when the fan was on this side.
Yeah, let's put it
back.
But
now the fan's on this side.
Yeah.
And the machine's just not going to tolerate it. It's just a no-go. It's not a thing. GPU is not in the motherboard. We're doing video off the video. We've got everything disconnected now, except for power.
Jay Davis suggest
stripped it.
is thinking that it's a short on the motherboard.
Well, I mean, what else is left, right? That there's something wrong with the riser that we got to, and the logical proof to that would be lift the motherboard out.
Oh God.
And see how it behaves. I mean, what else have we got? You guys got nowhere to be. I got nowhere to be. All right, let's do it.
Yep.
I'm going to leave the power supply in the case because, I like living dangerously. And just lift the motherboard out, put it on the towel with the case sitting beside it. I guess I can pull the power supply. I've got to pull this up. How's my Bob Ross now? All right. Okay. One CPU or one motherboard screw at a time. I really should get this motherboard connector off before I go any further. See if we can get this thing out of here without pulling that 120 fan out, because it's in the way. We're going to have to lift the whole thing forward. One motherboard out. All right, I'm just going to pull the motherboard or pull the power supply out. I unthreaded the connectors. There you go. Case back on the floor. Power supply and motherboard side by side. should not know where the locations on this motherboard are so well. I don't know if you can see this. This is really interesting. You might have a defective power supply here.
It looks like the motherboard.
Can you see that there's a pin missing?
Oh. But
Can you see that? There's a gap. There's a pin missing. Now.
But the other end looks loose also. Like,
well, there's no loose wires here. I think that pin's supposed to be missing. So.
No, the other side of the cable into the unit.
Oh, right. It is. Exactly what we said wasn't going to happen. Yeah. And exactly the thing I checked for and said, no, that's fine. We have to power it up on the outside. Or sacrifice a chicken. And I don't have any chickens. Really, I didn't test to have the fan on the other side. That's what we did. So. No problem. Powered. There you go. Oh, CPU's at 41 degrees. It's because I moved the fan, right? Oh, look, it's already down to 37. Mm-hmm. All right. You know, it's back really fun now. We can put it back in. At least it powered up again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and this time we're going to make sure we thread that audio cable perfectly when we slide that power supply in. Not pulling on anything. And we'll deal with Smart Fan in a minute.
Brett is suggesting that we try it again with the graphics card before you put it back, but I'm pretty sure it's that cable. Like
yeah. I don't like mounting stuff in the PCIe slot without the case supporting it. It makes me nervous. But yeah, I think we found the thing and it was this. And that was the issue. Okay. All these connectors get a workout. Keep your darkness to yourself, Burke. Okay. Don't leave me. Yeah, no, this was all part of the plan, Tim. It's like, well, I got to yank it out at least once. All right. The pile of debris around me is pretty epic. All right, case first. And the tricky player here is this little cable. Because we want it to be up and through this hole and ready to be plugged into the motherboard. but not interfering with the power supply. Where did it go? There you are, right there. Need you right there. Stay right there. Don't cause problems. Just be right there. That's a good boy. A little more slack. That's good. Try not to have that bind up too much. Okay, that wire's not tight, not bound up, and the power supply slid all the way in. All right, got that screwed down. Motherboard mounting time. Anybody seen a motherboard around here somewhere? All right, gentle levitation back into the space. Nice. Just get that little audio cable plugged in right away. There. Eight screws. I'll use the magnetic jewelers for the alignment. This is the part where when I rush now because I'm annoyed, stupid things start to happen.
At least you were smart enough to check before you close up the case fully.
Yep.
So
We could have buttoned the whole thing up and had it totally dead and laughed our butts off. But no, I'm trying to pay sufficient respect to the gods of vengeance and irony. Sufficient respect. It's not like we're buddies. You mean, have I ever taken a paper bag, blown it up, and when the guy went to power on the machine, made the bag explode? Well, yes, I have. Why do you ask? Yeah, I haven't bled yet, and thanks for that. I should just do a proper hand slash and smear it on and get to the chase. It's always the turbo button. All right, 8 screws set. Let's go to tension. Let's start plugging some stuff in. Come on. Did I bend a pin? Nope. It was just being a nuisance. All right. All the fans are wired. Power.
So, Richard,
Yeah, bud.
we're at 3 hours now.
Yep.
If you could make it to 320, 321, it'll be our longest Club TWiT event. Just saying.
All right. Let me spill my tea. I'm having a good time. I know it may not seem like it, but I am. I'm happily building a machine. I've got a little extra couple of twists and turns here. You know, let's keep going. I want this powered up. You want this powered up. And I feel like we're getting closer. We will not be hanging around for a Windows install. How about that? But I would like to tune the fans and inside the BIOS, and then we can call it a show.
3 hours and 21 minutes is our watch party of Metropolis. That was at 9.
That's a bloody long movie too.
It is, yeah.
I mean, this has more to do with my abilities as a computer builder than anything else, isn't it?
I mean, we've all been here.
Yeah, I know. I got an empathetic crowd, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
All right, so I fed that successfully. We're not going to wire it just yet. We're going to power up without the GPU. Running out of things to plug in. All right. Once more into the breach. Did I need to lift this up? I guess I didn't. Power. On button. Nothing.
What? You're kidding.
Now, the power button was wired. The internal power button worked.
Okay.
One problem at a time.
We do got a signal. All right, cool.
Yeah, we do. And fans are spinning, and they don't appear to be too noisy. Let's see, we added a keyboard to the equation. Front fans are going. Under smart fan, what do we got? So that's CPU. That's CPU optional. Which, yeah, it's got a reading on it, and that's the 120 in the back of the case. Then it's just fan 1, should be one of the front fans. And nope, it's got no reading on it. That might be the, I don't know which one is this fan 1. Is this fan 2's got a fan running on it? All right, so 2 and 3 must be the front case fans. Both blowing nicely. Okay. We're working. The GPU would be next then.
All right.
And then the case fans, the additional fans. That was a nice snap. Thumb screw should only be thumb tight. Tell I'm getting tired. I can't do stuff blind anymore. There we go. All right.
The chat really wants to have you turn on that expo thing for the RAM for some reason.
They seem very excited about it.
Yeah.
Makes me deeply suspicious. Oh, you know what? We should try and figure out why that power switch doesn't work. now it does work. Just got to be careful about seating things. Weird. It sounds like a theme. All right. And we're back to BIOS. Apparently the CPU got warm after that short run when we powered it back down again. It was 51 degrees. Our GPU clearly works because we have video. So I guess the next thing to do would be to introduce that fan board. No bootable devices showing. But all right, what am I supposed to configure? Where am I going?
Yeah, chat. How do we turn on Expo?
What am I turning on? I've got defaults already set here. That's just SPD info. Okay. SPD setup.
Bottom left.
Ooh. Oh, I see. XP and profile, turn on to XMP1. Turn it all on, see if bad things happen to us. Let's save and exit, and I can blame the chat. You're looking at a slightly sweatier version of me now, with my headphones not carefully woven behind my back because it was getting in the way, getting up and down. Oh, look, now my machine doesn't boot. I blame you. Turn it off and turn it back on again, because that's always a good idea. There's always the CMOS reset button, right? Hearing the fans wind up. I like it. It's not that loud.
Out of sync says it takes a couple minutes to retrain the RAM.
Like that RAM needed training in the first place. Let's put the tray in.
"20 minutes on some setups." What?
Wow. We're not going to wait around for that. Well, the two other fans just spun up just fine. This is a windy machine. Goodness knows we couldn't live with untrained RAM. Oh, all the fans just spun down. Ever wondered if your machine was up to something on its own you weren't directly involved in per se? Still waiting on a power up. What did I get? G.Skill, PC 6800 CL34s. Oh, fan spun down again. And now spinning up. So, I mean, I appreciate that it's signaling to us that it's doing something.
Progress is being made. Yeah.
Yeah, it's up to something. We did the BIOS update already, and it's the 1.3 board. So it's actually, what do we say? FB4 is the current firmament. It might have been FB5. I don't know. I can't remember. That was minutes ago.
FP5 sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's probably on my USB key somewhere. Listen, this is a family channel, and we don't say words like dongle around here. I presume at this point, Leo just didn't think I'd still be going.
I doubt it.
So any wires I can tie down. Oh, look at that. We're up.
Got a boot?
We do.
Nice.
And it's such a happy message, too.
Uh-oh.
All right. Why don't we turn these off, but we'll leave the XMP on, and we'll F10 it again and see what happens.
Thanks a lot, chat.
Well, like I said, it might have been the speed, those additional options.
Yeah.
So I turned off those other options, but I left the other thing on. We'll see. Again, I'm not that anxious about this. Oh, and I didn't even look at the version of the BIOS while on the way by. Wait, did I listen? No. What were we thinking? Anyway, look, it's a learning experience. I'm having a learning experience. Yeah, that's the BIOS reload. It was SB5 for May 25. Or did I get March 25? I don't know. Guess we'll see if and when this thing comes back. I'm waiting for the magic smoke to be released. This is not going to end with me taking a shot of whiskey. This will at some point involve me taking a shot of whiskey. But the whiskey that's in the decanter behind me there is a Dalwhinnie. So a Highland.
Did you figure out what was? You said the power button on the case wasn't working.
Oh yeah,
Did you
no, got it to work. You know what it was? Cables weren't pushed all the way in. Not that it ever happens. Who's got the link to the FP5 BIOS? Because if you got one, I'll happily install it.
Let's see.
All right, boot failure detected again.
Gosh. Oh boy.
All right, back in entering the BIOS again. So yeah, I guess it does not like. Where'd you go? Hello, Masu. Clicky clicky. There you are. So we have a choice between XM1 and disabled, and it did not work with XM.
Saying turn off.
Yeah, I guess that's not an option. All right. We saved with it turned off, and now we'll wait, and then. So the question is, did I buy the wrong RAM, do you think?
What's the speed on your RAM? Like, what's the model?
This is in G.Skill DDR5 PC6800 CL34.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. And the BIOS version is FB4. So I could always stick this RAM into the other machine and put 128 in the machine, which is obnoxious, and buy more RAM for this thing. Because, that's always an option. But, that wouldn't be the craziest thing I've ever done. But this was the RAM that was recommended for this board. What else? We're looking at the manual. Yeah, no. Oh, there's FB5. Why did I download FB4 if FB5 was right there? That's pretty funny. %, installed the older BIOS. This is just Phil to get to 320, right?
Just had to be the longest.
I must be the one.
Yeah.
I will be the one.
You have to set some kind of record, right?
Yeah. And you know what else I'm going to be besides, worst install? There you go. There's some good RAM for you. Okay. So that's done. Let's use the case USB ports.
Ooh.
Listen, I'm just from a land of adventure, man. All right, plugged in. Reboot. Look at the Moira. That's really great.
Yeah.
Okay. Down to Q Flash, update BIOS, and FB5,
Oops.
FB5, FB5, protected by Secure Flash. We're updating the BIOS again. Don't imagine those sirens are audible for you guys.
We got a little bit of it. It's fine.
Yeah, in this part of the world, when I hear that many sirens, there's only one thing. It's been a major car accident on the highway. There's lots of unprotected highway here where it's not that hard to go off the road. And people make mistakes, especially tourists this time of year, and it doesn't go well. So, all right, here we go. Yeah, it's very peaceful by the ocean most of the time, unless the sea lions are acting up. They're the loudest, most obnoxious things out there, but only once in a while do we get sirens. A lot of volunteer. Anyway, with the new BIOS update, you know what that means? Re-enable Expo.
Yeah.
Because it does say enhanced memory compatibility on the notes for this new version.
Oh,
maybe it's enhanced all the way to me. Ah, another siren. Dude, that's like everything up here. There's only so many machines. The only thing worse is the ambulance helicopter. You hear that, you know, things are bad. Although arguably, that means there's somebody to save. I'm impressed with how quiet this is for not tuning the fans at all. Hey, thanks for whoever double checked on my BIOS for me and noticed that I was running one version old. I was being so clever, getting all ready to do BIOS. And first I downloaded the wrong one that wouldn't install it at all, but we tried twice, I think at least, maybe 3 times. And then when we flipped to the right ones, I downloaded the wrong version. I ran on the old version. So I do want to do a little bit of zap tracking on the back side there to tie up those loose long cables. And then, dude, I think this machine is together.
Getting there, yeah.
We could do a Windows install on my fast USB-C port on the top side of the case. And watch that process go. Reboot in 4 seconds. I will not wait. You will reboot now. Wait, I clicked on it when it said reboot in 2 seconds and it waited 5 seconds to respond. Excellent. Man, that USB port is tight. Hey, Wizardling, been fun hanging with you too. And I'm going to be down New Zealand way in November. Going to be visiting the family farm with a new grandchild.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah. While the little one is still very portable, 7, 8 months old, it's a good time to go take him down and tour around to all the extended family. Their grandmother, her great grandmother's down there, so that'll be fun.
Oh,
born into March, so what? 4 months old, 5 months old.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're getting a boot up. There we go. Okay. Fans are spinning. CPU is temporarily hot. FB5. That's a good sign. All right, listen.
You gonna try it?
We're gonna try it. I'm willing. Its only choice is XMP1, but let's just try that.
Maybe toggle one of those,
or toggle the high bandwidth support. Let's do that. You like that? I like that. Let's do that.
Sure.
Okay. Because we have not done enough waiting.
I mean, you already crossed the line. We're at 3 hours and 30 minutes.
Well, let's not leave the
stream
too short. Yeah. The farm is a dairy farm. 150 head up Ohuiti Road outside of Tauranga. Of course, now we're going to go through the cycles of reconfiguration, right, for Expo. Yeah, there you go, 3 hours and 20. It started at 1 o'clock. So this is really RAM I should have put in the Intel board, which I still do. I could still throw all our RAM in that other motherboard if I really, was feeling adventurous. And then, try and find optimized Expo RAM for an X760 motherboard. Or 670. I hear it winding up again. Oh, look at this. Here's a comment from a guy saying he's having trouble with the Aorus Elite AX board. Yeah, no, his comment seems to be that all the 6800 stuff does not make Expo happy. Round and round it goes. All right, boot failure. We're going to have to declare Expo off limits. Let's just get it back to booted again, and then I think we're in the tie down and button up phase. All right, that powered up just fine with the Expo profile turned off. And he's good, yeah. So let's power it down and put the case back covers back on, and I think we're going to call it a day. Power down. Get that keyboard out of the way. Not truly done if I don't put some zap straps in this case. Okay. Got some of the little zap straps. These are the guys I want to tie down. Just don't want them running around loose in here. So let's get that guy tied down. There we go. Side by side like that. And I got my little capture nippers so that the thing doesn't go flying off when I clip it. Like so. And then down here, this guy ought to be in this. Just trying to make sure this is flush enough that we can slide that cover on without it binding. But I think I'm pretty happy with that. This was a tidier build than the Intel was. All right. And then the top. And then the face. Beautiful wooden fascia. Slides in on the front here, clicks into the bottom, like so. That's good to go. I did my obligatory zap strap. All right. I want HDMI, network, keyboard, USB-C of Windows 11. Are you not powering up again? That's nice. Oh, I switched to power off. Power. Power. Whiskey time. Hey, it's 4:30.
Yeah.
All right. Little Dalwhinnie 15. Little extra. Earned it.
Definitely.
If we're going to make a whiskey show, I think I would be this what's in my decanter thing, you know? That would be the logical thing to do. Because you never know what the heck's in my decanter. It could be anything. Oh, look at that. Windows. Who would have thunk it?
You did it.
Can't quite see it around the machine, but I like the sound effect. That really made me feel better, Anthony. I really appreciate that. I don't mind English United States, but I am not going to tolerate time and currency formats. They need to be Canadian. All right, no, they don't. I'm not changing that. Oh, nice. Full reef. That's not what I meant at all. Now, what are you doing? Silly machine. Made in Italy. Cheers, folks.
Cheers.
Oh, Dalwhinnie. You do know what you're doing. Next. Install Windows 11. I agree to everything or I get nothing. Product key. Well, I can't show you that. I think we should call it. What do you think?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, there's no reason to continue
Job well
on
done.
the screen here.
Yeah,
Hey, we got here.
we did.
Took a while. But, yeah, it's a good looking machine. I love the case, you know.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm not a gold trim kind of guy, but that's the way this one is. And now we've got this. I'm away next week, but the week after that, this should be the machine that I'm streaming from. Got to hang it to the underside of the case and underside of the screen of this monitor. Going to reposition everything. I'm going to get that shelf properly aligned behind me. So if I fill it up with LEDs, you know, good things will happen. We'll get it work out from there. And yeah, I hope Leo's okay because he was been gone for the duration.
Yeah, me too. But I'm sure we'll find out.
I'm sure we'll hear about it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Anthony. Couldn't have done without you, man.
Yeah, of course. Thanks everyone for watching. We did it. New record for Club TWiT.
Yeah, long show.
3
Try and
hours
build
and,
machines faster than
40
this,
minutes.
but you know, we did as best we could. But yeah,
All right, everyone.
Got to a working state. I'm excited.
Yeah. All right, Richard.
See ya.
Take care.